Hello everyone. In this series, I will show you the fundamentals of modeling by making this vintage TV model. The first thing we need is the default cube. And then we need to delete it. Great, now we can add a cube. Now we will deform this cube into the rough shape of the TV. But before doing that, let's see how the model looks again. We can see that the TV shape is mainly made out of two rectangles. Let's go back to our cube and abuse it a little by stretching and squashing it into the shapes we just covered. To make the other rectangle, we will have to add additional geometry to the mesh so we could extrude the face. For that, we will have to go into wireframe mode. We will add an edge loop in the middle and extrude the face to create the other rectangle. Now we have a very basic shape of the TV. Then we need to add a cutout at the top of our mesh. To do this, add two edge loops, one horizontal to control the height and the other vertical to control where the cutout ends. Then simply delete the faces that need to be cut out. Now this leaves us with a hole that we need to fill in. Then we need to slide this edge back a little. If you are using Blender, the shortcut is double tapping G. Then we need to bevel the edge. Here are the bevel properties that I used. Now that we are done with the cutout, beveling the edge has introduced some n-gons. This isn't ideal because we will be using a subdivision modifier later. Subdivision works best when the mesh is mostly made of quads. The reason is that the modifier splits every face into quads, so if a face has more than 4 edges, it can create messy and unpredictable results. We will take care of the n-gons in just a moment. Before that, we need to bevel these edges. Select all the edges and bevel until the edge of the bevel reaches these vertices. After doing that, there will be 2 vertices at the exact same spot. This is very bad and should be avoided at all cost. To fix the double vertices, select everything, press M and merge everything by distance. Now we can work on fixing the n-gons. Add an edge loop in the middle and then slide it closer to the edge. Then we need to merge the red vertex with the green one. I will stop speaking and just show what needs to be done. Now the mesh is in quads. Take notes that the exact same thing is done on the other side of the model. Now we will work on the screen area. Inset the face and then extrude it, and then do that again. You can delete these n-gons. However, I'm not going to do that because it's going to increase my animation render times. Inset the bottom and delete the faces. We have completed the shape of our TV. Now we will start adding detail to our model. But before doing that, let's fix some zigzaggy edges and make them straight. Now we can go back to our model and see what details we need to make. We can see that there is a cutout in the middle of our mesh. This is the first detail we will be working on. To create it, we need a cylinder with 44 vertices. Then we need to squish it down. Grab these edges and scale them from the middle. Then scale them outward a little. We will be using this mesh for a boolean operation. What is a boolean operation, you might be asking? A boolean operation is like a cookie cutter. One object is the dough and the other object defines the shape you cut out. This way of modeling does have a downside. It creates a lot of n-gons and requires a lot of manual work to convert everything into quads. However, this is what we will have to deal with. We will go back to our mesh and prepare it for a boolean operation. We will do this by adding a lot of edge loops around the mesh to create a grid-like pattern. Then we will apply a boolean operation to the mesh. The boolean created a lot of problematic geometry. It doesn't look that bad currently, but look what happens when we apply a subdivision modifier to the mesh. Looks absolutely terrible. So let's fix it. We will remove the subdivision modifier and work on converting the mesh to be quad-based. We will turn our focus to this edge, specifically the vertices on it. I don't know if you noticed, but we have a lot more vertices on this edge than we did on the Boolean object. The Boolean object has 44 vertices and our mesh has 92. Now why is that? This happens because before we applied the Boolean operation, we added a lot of edge loops on our mesh. When the Boolean is applied, those edge loops intersect with the cutting object, resulting in a lot more vertices. The intersecting vertices are highlighted green. What we will do now is merge the green vertices with the closest red one. After that, we need to clean up the rest of the geometry. When doing this, we must keep the model's details in mind. If we don't do this now, adding the model's details is going to be a pain later. We can see that we need a lot of straight edges to create the details. This is the first thing we will work on. We will straighten the edges that we have connected to the cutout. Then we will add edge loops to the vertices that are missing them. Then we will fix the triangles. We will go around the circle fixing the geometry. We will add 2 edge loops to connect the vertices. Now we need to arrange this part of a geometry the same way we arranged the other half. Make the edges straighter, then merge the vertices like so. Delete the edge and connect it to the other vertex. Just watch what I do and follow along. Delete these edges and add 2 on each side. This makes the quads more even. Then delete the middle faces and fill the hole with an n-gon. Then inset the face to create a boundary loop. Extrude the n-gon and inset it again, then push it back a little. Then delete the middle n-gon. We have fixed the geometry. Now I know some of you will notice these triangles here and will say that it is bad to have them here. However, triangles do subdivide quite nicely. They are mostly only a problem when making curved surfaces because they create poles. We actually have 2 subdivided triangles on our mesh. Go ahead and try to spot them. Here they are. So don't be afraid of using triangles. Now we will model this piece. Select these faces and inset them. Then select these faces and inset them too. Select the faces we just insetted and extrude them. Then select the edge and bevel it. Here are the bevel properties that I used. Beveling the edge created some issues. We have 2 vertices really close to one another and we have an n-gon. To fix the vertices, just merge them by distance. Then select these 2 vertices and join them by pressing J. Then do the same thing to these vertices. Then add an edge in the middle and slide the vertices inward. The exact same thing is done on the other side. Now we will move some vertices that are close to one another to relax the geometry. We will do the same to the rest of the model. Now, we will make this insetted, extruded detail. We will add an edge loop in the middle. We also need another one at the bottom. Now we need to select these edges and make them straight. Now we need to select all of these faces, press Alt-E, and extrude them along the normals. And there we have it. We have completed making the shape of the model, and in the next part we will start adding details. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next part.